Hey guys, Mr. Antoon here. Oh, no class. Let's take this off. We're going to be doing the SCOTUS FRQ discussion today. So I want you to understand this is the hardest of the four because this is the lowest scoring one. So I want to make sure we practice this time along. So here's what you're going to do. There's two cases. You know you have a partner score. We're not going to peer grade this, but you're still going to pick. If you're number one on the partner list, you're taking the first one, which is U.S. Lopez. If you're number two, you're taking Citizens United versus the FEC. Make a copy of it, and then you're going to write your FRQ. There's an optional note side of it, notes that you can take if you want to as you walk through it and read through it, but you don't have to do that. It's just to kind of shape your thoughts. So again, use your SCOTUS notes if you need to at this point to help you if you have them, and then submit when you're finished. So let's walk through what you have to do here. Obviously, there's the partner list, so you guys should know that. You can pause if you need to come back to this. So there's the two scenarios, and what they're going to do is they're going to give you, here's your 15. U.S. Lopez is your 15. Citizens United is one of your 15. But they're going to give you a case you don't know about. The one on the left is going to be Gonzalez v. Raich, and you're going to compare that to U.S. versus Lopez. So they're going to give you two paragraphs. You don't have to know about Gonzalez v. Raich. They're going to try to introduce it here to you. So make sure you don't stress too much about that. You have to know U.S. Lopez. On the other side, you have Citizens United versus the FEC, and this is, excuse me, and you're going to compare this to Buckley v. Vallejo. And you don't have to know Buckley v. Vallejo. They're going to give you it in the two paragraphs they have there. So it's kind of a comparison you're doing against these two cases. So please keep that in mind as we go to it. So there's your prompts. Both are identical. It depends on which one you have. Identify the constitutional clause in the first one and in both. So constitutional clause in Gonzalez v. Raich versus U.S. Lopez. I can, based on my notes, I should know which one it is. We just covered this one. I see commerce down here. You're going to be looking through this, and then you're going to be looking through your notes on U.S. versus Lopez. Okay, we just had covered that in class if you were paying attention to that. So you have that there. The second thing, and the same thing applies for Citizens United and Buckley v. Vallejo, you're finding the clause that's similar. Now, it doesn't have to be an amendment, but here's the key that we've learned as teachers. You can't just say it was in Citizens United versus the FEC. You know the whole idea of corporations equal free or are the same as free as people, and people have freedom of speech, which is the First Amendment, and therefore corporations can spend unlimitedly on campaign and electioneering stuff. So in this case, you can't just say it's the First Amendment. You have to give the clause. You will not get this easy point. So in this case, it's freedom of speech, freedom of expression of the First Amendment. Okay, so that's a key for you guys to look at there. Then on the other side, back to U.S. Lopez, you're looking at it, and if it's not in the Bill of Rights, which it isn't, the Commerce Clause is where in the Constitution you have to at least state the article. And again, obviously, the Commerce Clause would be that one. And then number two, for both of them, you're going to try to find why each of the cases had different holdings, even though they were dealt with the same clause. The one on the left, U.S. Lopez, is tough. So hopefully you've read and you know the U.S. Lopez case that we kind of briefly talked about, but you might have to reference Oye today as well in class. On Citizens United, we've covered this directly in our presentations. So again, why did the holding in Citizens United differ from that in Buckley v. Vallejo? So you got to figure out what the Supreme Court decided on and why. You have to know those. And lastly, it's going to ask you a question like, what can you do? What's an action you can do as the public if you don't agree with this or limit the impact or help the impact? Or what can Congress do? These are things that you want to look at that are going to be like things that can help you show us that you understand what can be done to check and balance the Supreme Court or the court system or judicial branch. And hopefully you see that. And then after that, when you're done, guys, please submit it and you are finished. Make sure you turn your SCOTUS, the 15 document at the end. And this is directly, I've given you on Google Classroom a specific spot to do this. Don't unsubmit your SCOTUS project and then resubmit it. Just submit it to the new one. And that's it. I will see you on the next one. Hopefully